Hello, BookTube. Hello, friends. Welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth, and today I want to talk about audiobooks. Now, I know that audiobooks are not for everyone. My own sister has said, I don't really like audiobooks. I don't know how much she's ever tried them, but some people have tried them and they say, I just can't focus, I can't concentrate, and other people just would rather hold a book. But I think those of us who have tried audiobooks and love them have dramatically increased the amount of books that we have been able to consume on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. Now, I will clarify though that if you are a super fast reader, then audiobooks may not do much for you because you're already reading fast. But audiobooks open up such a world of opportunities for you to consume books when you can't be sitting down holding a book. And I just want to talk about 6 ways that I incorporate audiobooks into my life because I actually heard someone say one time, or maybe they typed it or something, I don't know. I think I was commenting with someone who is a booktuber who is a super fast reader. And I said something about, that book is on audio or whatever. And she said, I need to try to figure out how I can fit an audiobook into my life. And I thought, let me count the ways. And so I've come up with 6 different ways that I incorporate audiobooks into my life. And I completely understand that for you, not all of these ways are going to be feasible or possible or even desirable. But this is what I do. So the first one is, I think the most obvious one, is listen to audiobooks when you are commuting. When you are on your way to work, whether you are driving or riding or wherever, you can listen to an audiobook. Now, I prefer to listen to CDs because my car has a CD player. Not all of the cars nowadays have CD players, but you can usually, tap into your phone, Bluetooth, something. I'm not even sure all the different ways that you could manage to listen in your car. I just know that you can do it. If you have any electronic device at all, you can listen to an audiobook while you're driving and while you're riding. Like if you're just riding a bus or a train or someone else is driving, unless you get completely car sick and can't sit and look at a book, you should be able to listen to a book. So the next one is while you're exercising. Now, this is something I definitely need to do more of, but when you're walking or running or whatever, you can especially walking or running, it's very easy to put in some headphones and go about your walk or your run and listen to a book. A lot of people listen to music, and I would even say that anytime you listen to music, you could probably substitute an audiobook. You might not want to, I know, but you could, I would think, for the most part, listen to an audiobook instead of listen to music in some cases. So the other thing you might do is like if you're at the gym or if you have, an elliptical or an exercise bike or treadmill at your house, you can listen to an audiobook while you're doing any of those exercises. Now, it might be kind of hard if you're doing aerobics. I wouldn't suggest really that you try to listen to an audiobook if you're doing an aerobics class or something. But if you're on a machine or if you're walking or running, then I think you could give it a try if you haven't ever done that. The third one is when you're doing housework. I love to do this. It makes housework go so much faster, especially things like washing dishes. It might be kind of hard to hear if you're vacuuming, but I have done it before. I have had earbuds in when I'm vacuuming, and depending on how loud your vacuum is, you can do it. But when you're just, going about the house, doing things, it's a great time to listen to audiobooks. You could have earbuds in, or you could have a CD player on your kitchen counter like I do, and you could listen to a CD while you're washing dishes. And that will work if you're not going to have to be walking around your house. If you are going to be staying in one room doing some kind of mindless activity, like washing dishes, then you could listen to an audiobook that is stationary on your counter. The other thing that you could do, which is kind of along the same lines, is while you're cooking. I love to listen to audiobooks while I'm cooking, and provided that I'm not frying something that's loud like bacon, I can usually hear pretty well and can listen to an audiobook while I'm cooking. So then the next one I would suggest is while you are doing different hobbies. So let's say you like to do needlework or any kind of sewing or knitting or crocheting, quilting, whatever. That's a great time to listen to audiobooks. Or other hobbies like coloring or doing jigsaw puzzles. When Christmas time rolls around, usually between Christmas and New Year's, when everybody's home, we usually pull out some jigsaw puzzles. And if we're not all working together as a family, like if I'm just by myself sitting working on a jigsaw puzzle, I put in an audiobook and I can get so much audiobook time in while I'm working a jigsaw puzzle, to the point where I think, wow, I am really spending a lot of time doing this jigsaw puzzle. But still, if you're going to put the time in doing a hobby like that, scrapbooking is another one. While you're scrapbooking, you could be listening to an audiobook. So if you're going to put the time in and you're doing something that doesn't require a whole lot of mental activity, listen to an audiobook. And then number 6 is one that I sometimes do, but it's not the best time for me, and that is when I'm falling asleep. You may have noticed, if you've ever listened to an audiobook on your phone, that there is a little clock usually, and it's a sleep timer. So you can set that to turn off after sometimes 5, 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, however long you think you'll be able to stay awake. You can set it to go off, and then you can listen to that audiobook while you're going to sleep. Now, are you probably going to fall asleep before it shuts off? Maybe. But at least once you get up the next day, you don't have to go back and restart your book. You can just go back 5, 10, 15 minutes and get back to the point where you last remember hearing something and start from there. So then a few other ideas that are not optimal, but could be, you might. So these are just over and above my top 6. I sometimes listen to audiobooks while I'm updating my Goodreads or planning my TBR, like if I'm answering comments or something when I'm on the computer. Now, I can very easily start focusing in on that activity and lose touch with what I'm listening to. So it really just depends on how much you can multitask, but that's just an idea. You might be doing some things on the computer and be able to listen to an audiobook. Not everything, though. And then grocery shopping. I have tried to listen to audiobooks while I'm grocery shopping, and I can do it sometimes, but sometimes I just get off track and I realize that I'm not paying any attention. But it can be done, and some people do it without any problem. Also, when I'm getting ready or putting on makeup, something like that, I can usually listen to an audiobook then. But that's just, kind of a short amount of time, and so I don't get a lot of listening time in when I'm doing that activity. So that's just a few little smaller ideas, but it's just something to try. And if you have never listened to an audiobook, just think about when you might try to incorporate one into your day. You don't have to do all of these like I do. You could just pick one and start there. And you may decide that it's not for you. But before you write them off completely, maybe just try a few of these things and see. You may just not enjoy the thought of someone reading to you, and maybe you don't feel like that's real reading. And that's completely your prerogative. I get it. But for me, it has helped to increase my reading, 200 fold. And, well, maybe not 200 fold, although I have finished now this year, by mid-July, I think was when I hit the 200 mark for 200 books read for this year. Not all of them are audio, but the majority of the books that I have consumed this year have been books that I listened to on audio, and I'm thankful for it. I feel like this year, with the pandemic and everything, and more people staying in and libraries being closed, that more books have become available on the free library resources. And uh, I've just been able to access more of the books that I have wanted to read on audio than ever before. And if you are interested in sources of audiobooks, I did a video several months ago called 10 Sources of Audiobooks, and those are the 10 sources where I find my audiobooks. Now, that's not a completely extensive list. A couple of people commented to a couple of things and told me about a couple of things that I had not even thought about, or things that I don't use. So it's just the 10 ways that I access or find audiobooks, and I will link that video in the description box below. So that's about all I wanted to share with you in this video. Let me know if you like to listen to audiobooks or not, and maybe why and how and all of that, and let's just chat about it in the comments. But that's all I have for this video. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.